And look at this. While that's happening, he bites her cheek. It's romantic. But then she f***s off.
Or it's assault. I don't know, however you want to look at it.
Often leaves him to look after the eggs, and the fancy circle thing sort of deteriorates. There's no upkeep until he's in a sort of run-down bachelor pad with a whole bunch of larvae. I mean, he actually does look kind of happy. I did it in the category of a most...
You know what that reminds me of? Little pufferfish in a run-down bachelor pad surrounded by a bunch of larvae. It reminds me of this interview I saw with Doc Marquis. So for those of you who don't know, Doc Marquis, let's pull him up here. Doc, his real name is Joseph Doc Marquis. Let's see, here's a picture of him. You can find interviews of him and little talks he gives on YouTube. This guy claims that he was a member of the Illuminati and that he broke away in order to warn people about the Illuminati. I believe him on the first count that he's a member of the Illuminati. I do not believe him on the second count that he broke away from them in order to warn people about them. I think he's still very much a member of the Illuminati. I think that he misleads people, and I mentioned him once before in a previous video about chaos agents where I was talking about Shmuel Asher, Dr. Schmucky. This guy is also a chaos agent. He misleads people big time. But there's this one interview with him that I've been looking for, and I can show you one video comes up that is not the interview video, but it has a picture. The cover picture for this video is a screenshot from that interview. Here it is, where he's in that orange shirt with the crosses on it. You see this guy in the background there on the couch, and at a certain point in the video, you see a kid walking through the room, like it looks like maybe in his early teens. So it looks like he's got a bunch of people there behind him. He's a bachelor, by the way. He's never been married as far as I know. In fact, he says in this interview, if someone can message me the link to the actual interview. Again, this video is not it. It just has a screenshot. Its cover image is a screenshot from the interview. But this is the interview specifically I'm thinking of that I watched at one point. And in this interview, Doc Marquis claims that no, he's not married. He's happy, first of all. And at a certain point in the video, he also goes, all these people just keep sending their kids over to me. You should listen to this guy speak. Just for those of you guys who've never seen or heard this guy.
When he was being raised as a little boy, he had everything he could possibly imagine. If he wanted to go from point A to point B, he didn't have to walk. They would carry him in a litter, bring him in a chariot, or...
See, he just sounds creepy. Looks creepy. So he's not married, he's happy, with a bunch of random children being sent to his house. Kids being sent to his house. It also reminds me of course, the situation with Humbert and Lolita. It reminds me of the statistics that I continuously hear about, which is that the majority of pedophiles are married with children. The majority of pedophiles, the majority of men who are attracted to children, are actually married with children, guys. This is why, ladies, this is why I continuously say, if you want to have children, ladies, you need to stay home with them and make him go work. Make sure you have a guy who understands that that is the situation that needs to happen. He needs to go work, and you need to be home with your children, so that you're not handing them off to either he or some random, like a daycare that these people start daycares, guys, and then you don't know what you're handing your kid off to. And if your kid's young enough, they're not going to know what happened to them. You understand? And it's also very much reminds me of like the lion, which I noticed they seem to like to use to, I think that they like to use the lion to symbolize themselves, puff themselves up. The female lions go out and do the hunting, and the male lions lay around, spend most of their time laying around with the cubs. And they don't really, let's face it, they don't really do any really very good rearing. They just lay around and nap. In fact, I recently saw a video of a male father lion running away from his cubs. Like, the cubs are like, "Daddy, Daddy," and he's like, "No, get the F away from me." Like, he just can't, dudes don't tolerate children very well for very long. They don't tolerate the chaos of it, at least not without, like, starting to become dictatorial and taking control and manipulative. They don't know how to juggle the chaos of a bunch of little egos running that don't completely have their manners and morals developed yet. They're not as good at that as women are. So if they do that for long periods of time, those kids probably won't develop as well as they would if you left them with a woman, a real mother. Again, not a narcissistic female. Those don't count. They're not women or mothers. They're men with tits, in my opinion. They're basically just, they're butch men with tits. They're females at best. They don't qualify as women. No mothering instinct, no woman. And the mothering instinct means protecting the kid from yourself as well, and your own selfishness, you know? So yeah, I see this idea repeated. That's, by the way, guys, that is a pedophile's dream. That's the dream for them. They are home with a gaggle of children that they have absolute control over, and the fat cow woman that they had to marry in order to gain access to children is out doing all of their work for them. Okay? And when I say fat cow woman, I'm just like for those of you who get easily offended, sorry. I'm just like putting myself into I'm channeling Humbert there. I'm trying, again, you need to understand your enemy. You have to try to look at life the way that they do if you want to try and catch them and defend yourself from them. I'm not saying live life the way they do, but like you gotta like put yourself in their mindset once in a while. And that's really what lazy, narcissistic, pedophilic men want. They want to sit around all day with a woman. They hate women. They want women to just do their grunt work for them, hand them sandwiches, and shut up. And then they want little kids sucking on their D's. Okay? That's what lazy, narcissistic, pedophilic men want. And most pedophiles, almost all pedophiles, are men. And again, most pedophiles are married with kids. The trickier ones, like Doc Marquis here, figure out how to trick parents into just sending kids over to their house. And they don't even have to be married. They don't even have to trick some woman into thinking they love her so that they can couple with her and have children so that they can have access to children. If you think that pedophiles aren't out there marrying women so that they can create children to abuse, you need to snap out of La La Land, guys. So yeah, Zay, that's what guys. So for the rest of my audience who again aren't a part of this gross, disgusting, seedy, lowly child abuse, child trafficking network, you should check out Doc Marquis, this dude. If any of you find that interview where he's sitting in this orange shirt and you can see behind him, again, it's not this video. It's just, this video is just using a screenshot from that interview as the cover image. But if you guys find the video that this image is from, DM me, please. Send me the link. I would appreciate that. But Doc Marquis definitely, like, in a gross, seedy little Weasley voice that he has, too. parents they just keep sending kids over to my house. Like advertising. Yeah, I've got a child brothel going on over here. And their dumbass parents think that I'm amazing, that I'm so brave. I broke away from the Illuminati to try and save them. So this guy is like a double agent. He's a chaos agent. He seeks chaos. He misleads people remember what I said about how chaos agents lie by telling the truth. So a lot of what he's saying is the truth, but the way he's saying it, the context he's putting it in, he's misleading people. So check this guy out if you want to see just a total weasel. Oh, this guy is a weasel. But anyway, yeah, so back to you, Zay. Don't fly to love and to kill. Again, maybe you missed the video I put out, Zay, about, the one about 22 in the heart and Shiva. Real love is self-sacrifice for another. That's real love. Not killing that person. You don't love that another creature or person if you kill it for yourself, for your own gain. Then you don't love it. You love yourself. So I don't know what you're talking about, creep. Creepy Dave. By the way, my Hiram Abiff voice, you gotta admit, I killed it. Totally, way better than any of the voices you've ever done. Way better. And your French accent voice, just stop. Just stop. And I did better than that. But I don't know what you're talking about when you say to love and to kill. It's not, okay, so then you don't mean love? You mean infatuation? Because you're crazy? Are you this crazy in person? You're crazier, aren't you? I bet you're creepier in person. I bet you. Alright, so I just wanted to make this little... What else does it remind me of? There was another one that it reminded me of, but... Oh, I'll make another video about that one later. Alright. See ya.